show you how to create two simple birthday cards. I used a Scrap Diva collection designed by Karola Witczak, and I will be using Studio 40 stamps. First set that I use is the one with flowers, and it's called Flowers number 3. I am stamping it over the watercolor paper using embossing ink, and I will cover them with white embossing powder because I want to add some watercolor later to create those artsy whimsical flowers. I am stamping two sizes of flowers. This stamp set can help you build flowers layer by layer, but I decided only to use one outline stamp to create with it. I will be using two sizes of flowers, the bigger one and the smaller one, along with some leaves. And now, after I covered it with white embossing powder, I am just using my heat gun to melt the powder and created water resist and watercolor resist areas in my flower. It takes a while, but I think that you are familiar with embossing, so I don't have to explain it to you. And now I will work with watercolors. Those are 3 sets of Prima watercolors, and I'm just applying paint into the areas where my white embossing is. I'm trying to shade the flowers, adding darker colors in the middle of the flower, in the center of the flower, and using only water to spread the colors to the edges of the petals. I decided to use two colors or many shades of two colors, pink and blue or mint, however you call it, because I'm working with those colors over my cards, because I used Scrap Diva collection and it's mostly mint and pink with drops of gold. I will be creating two cards in the same time, but first I will paint those flowers and I will leave them to dry, and next I will deal with the second card, and then I will be back to this one. I often do 2 or 3 cards in the same time. You can of course use the heat gun to fasten up the process of drying, but you must be careful because embossing powder will remelt. I don't know if it's a word in English, but it will melt once again, so you can get some strange effects. So if you can, let it dry on air, because it will really take like 15 minutes and you are sure that your card is safe. And now I am creating a second card. I took this stamp set, it's in Polish Tu i Teraz, in English Here and Now, and those are the sentiments in Polish, but I'm sure that Studio 40 carries some English version of these stamps too. And I'm using gelatos to just create circles. As you could see before, I'm trying to match the size of the circles to the size of my stamps, because I will use mostly all of those stamps in one card. I will stamp over these circles, and I will create some kind of multiply wishes for the birthday, because those are mostly birthday related stamps in the set. So here is the happy birthday, hooray, and good time, and many other similar words that fit to the birthday occasion. And now when all my circles are done, I'm using just clean water to activate the gelatos to create this more watercolor look, but I am not adding too much of the water because I just want only to move the pigment only a little, not and I still want the strokes of gelatos to be visible under the watercolored layer. And now I'm leaving it aside to dry, and I'm going back to my flowers. I will fussy cut them along with the leaves. So as you can see, I cut out part of this process because it was long and very boring, and I really wanted to have this video less than 15 minutes. And now the last flower is done, and I can embellish my card. I don't remember. Yes, I did it right away. So as you can see, I have a base and two smaller rectangles of Scrap Diva papers. I am using these peony flowers as a background and this pink paper as the second layer. And now I am ready to place my flowers over the composition. I will also, over the background, creating composition, I will also use some sentiment stamp on this card from the set I used to create the second card. And I am not sure because it was a video recorded a long ago. If I think it will be some Polish word for happy birthday. 100 lat. Yes, my two kids had pneumonia, one after another, so last 6 weeks were, let's say, lightly tough in my life, but now we are all getting better. But now my husband has man's flu, so can you imagine how hard my life is after 2 pneumonias, and now I'm dealing with man's flu. So let's go back to the cards. I stamped the happy birthday over the pink background paper, and I used white embossing powder. I heated it with the heat gun, and now I can fussy cut it, maybe not fussy cut, just cut it out, and it's ready to use on the card. I will use 3D foam squares to add some dimension to this card. First I am attaching my sentiment, and now it's time for flowers. I had this composition built previously, and now I'm just gluing down the flowers. As you can see, I have 2 flowers left, but I will probably use them in some other project, or my kids will steal it from the desk and create their own projects. It happens a lot lately, and I have to close my room because little hands are very sticky. And this card is almost ready. I am not sure, but I think that I splashed over it using Y ink. It's just a regular ink, nothing fancy. And sorry for the noises. I think my kids are arguing right now about something I am sure very silly. And now the pink mist splatters. It's a Heidi Swapp pink mist, and this card is ready. Yay! I need to leave it to dry. Yes, this is it. And now I am going back to my previous card, the one with sentiments. Once again, I have the same size of the card base. I am also using the Scrap Diva collection. I love this mint paper with those drops of gold, and my background is also dry. And now I will apply stamps using embossing ink once again. I will use different stamps and different sentiments over some different circles, and after they will be stamped, I will use white embossing powder to to highlight the stamps with the white color. I am doing it, but if you have a white good ink that is visible over the colored surfaces, you don't have to do a white embossing. You just can stamp with the white ink. And I decided to highlight one of the sentiments to raise it above the card. That's why I'm stamping it over the mint paper, and I will use white embossing over it. And when it's dry, I am cutting out the circle, and I will use 3D foam squares to lift it up above the surface. And yes, it will look like that. And I'm using a piece of the cardboard to add dimension to my page between the layers, and it's almost it. I am not sure. I think I splashed the card with the gold mist, but I will have to wait for it to be sure. Oh, I also added few enamel dots over the card, some hearts and blue enamel dots, and yes, a gold splashes using the Heidi Swap Gold Mist is my favorite one, and I use it a lot, and I need to buy a new one. Yes, that's it. The card is ready. The second card is also ready. And thank you for watching, and don't forget to jump into the Studio Forte shop, because they have amazing stamps, clear stickers, and much more to buy, and the prices are really good, and they ship internationally. Thank you for watching, and sorry for my private stuff included into the video, and bye bye.